wabarakatuh. My name is Maisarah Binti Kadir. I'm going to present about the introduction of understanding contract Musharakah Mutanaqisah in home financing, which is through a study on Islamic bank customers. Musharakah Mutanaqisah is a partnership agreement between two parties where one partner buys the entire share of his partner's property gradually. For example, it is between Islamic bank, which is financier, and the customer. This sale and purchase should not be stipulated in the partnership contract because the transaction begins with the formation of the partnership, after which the purchase and sale of equity takes place between the two partners. In Sharia, the nature of Musharakah requires both co-owners in the Musharakah Mutanaqisah agreement to assume rights and liability according to their capital contribution rates. Moreover, one contract is not allowed to be met as a condition for concluding the other. For example, customer and bank buy house with initial capital investment equal to 20 and 80% respectively by them, where customers want to buy a house from the bank and pay a fee which is shared between the two based on their percentage of shares. Eventually, the customer will continue to buy the bank's shares gradually until the house becomes fully his or hers. Slowly, the customer's share will increase while the bank's share will decrease through periodic redemptions by the customer until the house is fully owned by the customer. The replica of an Islamic conventional mortgage is a critique and assumption of Islamic banking customer nowadays. We have most version of home financing using Musharakah Mutanaqisah contracts. This is because they argue that the benchmark on relatively high interest rates is through a payment structure on loans that has similarities to conventional banks. Therefore, customers believe that the real estate cycle through contemporary Musharakah Mutanaqisah contract in home financing is not much different in its effect than in conventional loans, purely from an economic point of view without seeking or emphasizing views through a Sharia perspective.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Farzana Bt Baharudin. My matric number is 2020-950749. So I will continue my part, which is research objective. Okay, for research objective, we only have 2 research objective, but now we have provide 3 research objective, which is the first one is we want to identify the contract of Musharakah Mutanaqisah in home financing among Islamic bank customer, and the next one is to investigate understanding Islamic bank customer towards beneficial ownership in the Musharakah Mutanaqisah contract, and the last one is we want to interview the customer Islamic bank about their understanding in contract Musharakah Mutanaqisah. So let us move on with literature review. Okay, the first one is implementation of Musharakah Mutanaqisah partnership over the world. This article is from Bukhari, Journal of Islamic Economic and Finance. Okay, as we know that Sharia finance has been around unofficially since 1992. So when a financing business organization was established that implemented profit sharing practice in its operation and contract structure Maulidah 2020. So we also know that the property finance product using the Musharakah Mutanaqisah is one of the application of hybrid contract in Islamic bank. Because of this arrangement is still new to the world, so not all of the Islamic bank use it. Okay, the next one is the potential of Musharakah Mutanaqisah for Islamic housing finance. This article is from International Journal of Islamic and Middle Eastern Finance and Management, August 2011. This article is explain the decreasing partnership, often known as the Musharakah Mutanaqisah, is a relatively new strategy that does not appear in classical literature. Actually, it was created by modern Muslim academic to make it more easier for Muslim to invest. Actually, It is also known as a funding method that Islamic bank do not employ very often. So from this article, we can see that Musharakah Mutanaqisah has not been fully adopted throughout the Islamic bank financial system. So here we present a review of the available literature on Musharakah Mutanaqisah in this section. There got so many issues that have been expressed regarding Islamic bank incapacity to adopt traditional mudarabah and musharakah mean of financing due to the complexity, agency problem, trustworthiness, contract duration and termination, and so on. So I will pass to Atirah to explain more. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. I am Athirah Binti Abdullah, and I will continue about literature review article 3 and 4. So article number 3 is house financing, contract used by Islamic banks for finished properties in Malaysia. It is by Aisyah Munizi, School of Professional Studies International Center for IS. This article means housing is a basic need and one of Sharia objective. There is an inherent demand for house financing regardless of jurisdiction. This is primarily due to population growth and lifestyle change, as the current trend is to live as a single family in a single home. As you can see, house financing is one of the most popular types of financing in Islamic finance. In this case, a financing arrangement could be obtained to either build a house on privately owned land or to purchase a ready-made house or apartment. From a Sharia perspective, the appropriate contract to construct a property on land is istisna. Thus, there are two major types of Sharia contract used in business to facilitate the purchase of a finished property. Article number 4 is a critical analysis of beneficial ownership in Musharakah based home financing in Malaysia. It is by Muhammad Yusuf Salim, Islamic Banking and Financial Services Department, Central Bank of Afghanistan. The concept of beneficial ownership as implemented in Islamic finance, particularly in countries that adhere to the common law system, such as Malaysia, and its compliance with Sharia law should be considered. It is also worth noting that because Sharia permits different types of contracts underlying financial products, the recognition of beneficial ownership as an Islamic finance concept will differ depending on the distinctive and unique feature of each product. Musharakah financing accounts for 70% of all Sharia contracts used by Islamic financial institutions. So I think that's all from me.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Syazana Yusni. I'm from KPA 1194A. So today I will talk about issue and problem. First is a lack of understanding. Why lack of understanding? Because the staff did not explain what type of term and condition that they were used in home financing. This can be problem for them to have ability to adopt with the traditional of mudarabah and musharakah. Financing method due to the contract can affect to complexity, agency problem, reliability, contract period, termination, and so on. Second is staff knowledge. In this situation, we can see that some of the staff was not clearly understand about what is actually musharakah mutanaqisah in home financing. So this can be affected to staff to explain the contract in detail. In other words, the worker are being careless in doing the works. So this can give effect to customer because they did not they didn't know what contract will be used and how long a contract will be used and how the next sale will be launched. Okay, that's all for me.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nabilah Binti Rahim. Number matrix 2020990721. I'm going to talk about finding and discussion that we have got from this group project. We have interviewed only 3 respondents. Among all of them, there were students and a teacher in different ages but in same gender. We really need their knowledge and opinion to fulfill in this group project. So let's take a look at their opinion and knowledge about Musharakah Mutanaqisah contract. The main reason for respondent 1 choosing Musharakah Mutanaqisah contract from Islamic bank is because the service is faster and Sharia compliance. From her opinion, bank is only provide faster and friendly service in terms of financing to customer by buying the house in advance, which the customer want and the customer will pay back within a given time, but the bank does not bear any risk related to home or property ownership. While the main reason for respondent B choosing Musharakah Mutanaqisah contract is because the contract based on profit and loss sharing compared to conventional bank. Next, the main reason for respondent C chose Musharakah Mutanaqisah contract from Islamic bank is because the contract provide higher profit in investment and the service is faster. From the first respondent opinion, the beneficial ownership in the Musharakah Mutanaqisah contract, which she said customer registers the asset under his name. The customer will be considered as the trustee for himself and the financier. The bank, essentially the customer and bank become co-beneficial owners of the property. While respondent B understand the beneficial ownership in the Musharakah Mutanaqisah contract, which she said a beneficial owner, or also known as a fair owner, is a person who is recognized in equity as the owner of something because the use and title belongs to that person, even though the legal title may belong to someone else, especially if the property owned is kept under trust. Besides that, respondent C understand that the beneficial ownership in the Musharakah Mutanaqisah contract is considered a true ownership, as Sharia allows the transfer ownership based on the offer and acceptance in the contract.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Atirah binti Zaini. I am from class KBA 1194A. I will continue about research methodology. We use the library method to obtain research data related to the topic of understanding contract of Musharakah Mutanaqisah in home financing among Islamic bank customers. The data that we collect for this study adopts qualitative method because it describes and explains the understanding Islamic bank customers towards something related to contract of Musharakah Mutanaqisah in home financing, such as understanding customers toward beneficial ownership in Musharakah Mutanaqisah, implementation of Musharakah Mutanaqisah partnership over the world, and the potential of Musharakah Mutanaqisah for Islamic housing finance. That's all from me. Thank you. She's a